This Stephanie White situation has Indiana Fever fans in an uproar. This front office has people very, very uncomfortable. There's a real lack of trust between the fan base and the front office. You know, Lynn Dunn just came out blasting people with a random post about, you know, the type complainers and all types of stuff like that. I don't believe that that was a coincidence. That she did it in this moment while everyone has been bombing on the Indiana Fever front office and the draft pick. Now we got Stephanie White talking about pretty much this new role for Caitlin Clark and the style of play for this team. Listen, man, I think Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark probably do get along great. They probably do get along with each other and like each other. I just believe they see the game of basketball through two separate lenses, and the way Stephanie White is talking about playing this season does not suit Caitlin Clark at all. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into things, man. Stephanie White took to the Query and Company podcast. Let's take a listen to what she had to say, man. This is already, guys, this is already on the verge of being a dumpster fire. Let's just be real here. This is I don't understand it. She talks about them getting more depth and yada yada, but Aaliyah is the only real center we have. Where's the depth at the center position? Where's the size? We got 97 guards, man. I don't get it. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I think continuing to build quality depth. I mean, look, it's hard because of the sample size of last year was so, construed because of all of the injuries. So we didn't really get a full look at what our team could have been. We were managing crisis, for lack of a better term, for most of the season anyway. We needed to get more depth, quality depth at every position. We
didn't do that, though. We didn't get more depth at every position. You went and got 87 5'8" guards. We didn't get quality depth at every position, Stephanie White. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? We got one center legit. Dantas, that's who you... All right.
A little bit more physicality and defense. We went from bottom of the league to middle of the pack in the defensive end of the floor, and we want to get to the top of the pack. And of course,
okay, we went from bottom of the league to middle of the pack defensively. Now notice she's going to go on this defensive rant and lead on into why Raven Johnson is the pick and why Raven Johnson is going to play such a vital role. Okay, which means if you got Caitlin Clark out there, you got Kelsey Mitchell out there, and you got Raven Johnson out there who can't shoot, and that she was just quoted as saying, Raven Johnson has had the ball in her hands her whole life. She's a point guard, blah, blah, blah. What does that mean if those three guards are going to be on the floor? Caitlin Clark is the only one that's 6 feet out of all of them. She's the biggest. She can shoot. She's going to be playing off ball on the wing. She's going to be playing small forward. You can't ask Raven Johnson to play off the ball and spot up and come off screens.
Making sure we got healthy, making sure that we come into this season, ready to go and ready to rock.
By the way, if you had to guess, Stephanie White is my guest, the head coach of the Fever. If you had to guess, would you say that you are or are not the first person to ever have to tell me to calm down?
I would say I'm not the first person that's ever had to tell you to calm down.
Okay, fair enough. Well, listen, nobody ever had to tell me that when I was doing the morning show because I didn't wake up till 11 and we were done at 10, so it was kind of comatose there for a while, right? But that's just the way it goes.
I'm glad they gave you a better time slot now.
That's right. See, now I'm awake, but now I got to...
They put you in position to be successful there.
They did, but I got to take a step back every once in a while and just, serenity now. Did you guys get better defensively? I mean, Raven Johnson, when I looked at it, I thought might have been the best perimeter defender in the draft. But
yep.
Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, for sure we got better. I mean, she was the defensive player of the year in the SEC, which is the toughest defensive conference in the country. She can guard really multiple positions. She takes great pride in being an elite defender. And oftentimes, and I remember we said this when we drafted Tiffany Mitchell from South Carolina. South Carolina players are always going to be ready on the defensive end, and I think Raven Johnson was naturally always an elite defender anyway. So we get better there. Point of attack defense, no question about it.
I want to.
Point of attack defense. This is the direction that the team is going. We went from being able to put up 100 points a night to She wants Caitlin Clark to play off ball. She wants Raven Johnson to control the game, control the tempo, and guard at the point of attack. And she wants final scores to be 72 to 65. I mean, she wants these low score, drag them out, slugfest games. And that's just not Caitlin Clark.
Think about who we added in free agency, though. Mo Billings, elite communicator, great defender. Maisha Hines-Allen, elite communicator, elite defender. And so it gives the ability to change up some matchups, because Aaliyah Boston was always guarding the 4-player on the floor. And now we give AB a little bit of a break and a blow from having to be a.
How do you give her a break and a blow when you don't have a real backup center? You don't have any size. You don't have any size. Maisha Hines-Allen is good. She's not tall. She's strong. She's physical. She's not tall. The New York Liberty just got a 7-footer. They going 6'4" across the board. Where's the size at?
Focal point offensively and be a focal point defensively.
I wanted to give you a chance to kind of add on to something that I saw you saying this week when you were talking about the draft and just the players coming out and the coaching they got from Dawn Staley. And I could tell that you have a great respect.
This dude is in love with Dawn Staley. Every interview he's talking about Dawn Staley. Maybe he know her personally or something, but I'm tired of hearing about it.
For the way that she prepares her players, not just maybe the style in which they play, but also the discipline that they have to have. I talked to Kelly a little bit about this yesterday, but how much for you also do you factor that in when you're bringing a player in terms of the background that they've had in the way they've been coached?
Yeah, I think we have to. We have to think about the way that they've been coached, the way that they've been challenged, the systems that they've been in. Does it prepare them to be great pros? Does it prepare them to be ready to be in rotation or not? What does the trajectory look like when you draft them? And certainly, you want players who have been challenged, who have been coached. And when you think about a point guard playing for one of the best point guards of all time in Dawn Staley, you know that she's going to see the game a certain way. She's going to expect something out of you because she was one of the best to do it. And so when you're challenged on a day-to-day basis, the way that Raven was challenged, I think it's a great opportunity for us to know that she's going to be ready. Now, she's going to be a rookie and she's going to go through things, but in terms of what it means to be coached, what it means to be challenged, what it means to be ready on the defensive end of the floor, what it means to prepare and compete. The thing I love that she said all the time is I want to win. I want to win. And that's all she's done in her career. I think in her career in high school and college, she's lost 11 games, something crazy like that. I mean, that's insane.
Look at players that have just won, right? I mean, Caitlin Clark has won, obviously, in college. I mean, I know that, right on the cusp there, right? And yet last year, I know it was tough for everybody. And you probably got tired of us asking all the time, when, where things stood in terms of that. What will the reacclimation period be, if you will? What's that?
I said, yes, I did. I felt like J.J. Redick, the other day when he said there won't be an update.
Now we got to talk about this reacclimation again. Here we go.
Right, until there's an update.
Right. I mean, I get it, right? It's that catch-22, right? Because people want to ask, but at the same time, there's no, but having said that, what is the time period or the acclimation, if you will, not just for her, but also the teammates around, or although is it advantage because you have a lot of new faces, so it's new for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's new for everybody. I think we got to be smart. She has worked her butt off this whole off season to prepare herself. We have an added advantage in that she played games in March, right, with USA Basketball. And so she has game exposure. She has game pace. She has game rhythm. She has game timing. And so we have an advantage. But we also want to be smart. She doesn't need every rep in practice. We want to continue to ramp her up. It's a long season, 44 games, and we play a heavy cadence of games in a week. And so we want to be smart in camp and make sure we I don't want to say ease her into it because she's ready for camp, but we want to make sure that we manage, the reps and what kinds of reps she's getting just to build her up so that she's ready to go. And we don't have any kind of questions about that.
Man, it sounds like you trying to sneak a way to put some sort of minutes restriction on her in games. That's what it sounded like to me. But hey, man, let me know what you think. This is Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.